Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Kicks it out to Harden. And that basket pushes the lead to double digits. And now it's an 11-point Rocket lead. It's no secret, Clark, what this Houston Rockets team wants to do. They want to get to the line, drive the lane, and hurt you from outside the arc.
And they'll do it all at a very fast pace. I mean, they're fun to watch. The pace is something that I think sneaks up on teams sometimes, Kevin.
Good point. And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
And no doubt the Rockets were one of the faster-paced teams in the league last year. When you have the firepower they do, you want it to become a scoring fest.
So Chicago ends up going with the new group. Three minutes of action so far in the second quarter.
A lot of the wins for the Rockets, guys, I thought last year came from just wearing down their opponents. I mean, you can keep up with their pace for a quarter, maybe two, but it's very hard to sustain it for 48 minutes shot for shot.
54 seconds left in the first half of basketball.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
Greg, those are always tough to judge, but I think the official got that one right.
Bulls shooting their fourth and fifth attempts at the free throw line tonight. Bulls made the postseason for the 10th time in their last 11 seasons. Last year, they have become a fixture, Greg, in the playoffs in the East.
And how about last season, Kevin, had that interdivision matchup in their first round against the up-and-coming Bucks. Some hiccups form in that series, but they were able to prevail.
Oh, and the jam by Butler.
Even when they're down, he's still looking to do the spectacular. And he pulled it off.
Well, maybe this is the best time to do it.
I agree. I mean, now's when you need a spark, something electric to get your teammates fired up. Oh, how pretty was that? Use the rim to protect the ball perfectly.
And it's Howard finishing it off.
And he is the ultimate when it comes to being a floor leader on the offensive end.
Yeah, you know, he's got a little bit of Greg Anthony in it. And he has been that leader today. I think he's done a really nice job of moving the ball and distributing it the way it needs to be done.
Well, Clark, I'm glad you referenced specifically why you thought he had a little Greg Anthony. I thought you were talking about the knees, my man. He looked a little hobbled out there for a moment.
Houston shooting their first free throws of the game.
Only 71% from the line last season, and rest assured they're hoping to bring those numbers up this year.
And, you know, whenever they get into a stretch where it looked like maybe they would turn it around at the line, they would immediately take a step back.
And all right, the second half beginning in just a moment. An exceptional performance so far from James Harden.
And he just went off in those first two quarters, guys. He's capable of doing that on a consistent basis as well. So we might see some changes from a defensive standpoint as they try to disrupt his rhythm in the second half.
You know, guys, I think you've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him up like he has been.
The second half just about to get going here.
Harden doing it all. He has 17 points, and he's sprayed home 3 3-pointers as well.
This is really production personified from long range.
So for Chicago right now, Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Mirotic out up there with Pau Gasol. And it's McDermott in at the 3 spot.
For Dwight Howard, guys, there were 2 or 3 seasons in Orlando and LA that seemed like one big soap opera. So now, to me, it seems like he's happy and settled, though, here. And he's finally, they get one to drop. That's one of their first 4 here in the 3rd.
Rockets foul.
And it seems, Greg, that, you know, as he was just talking moments ago about Howard finding his niche in Houston, it seems he's more comfortable. Certainly a great legacy of terrific big men for the Rockets. Clark, you know that firsthand. And they've had some terrific names over the years.
How about Yao Ming, Kevin? Moses Malone, Elvin Hayes, Hakeem Olajuwon. No greater roster of big men than that one there.
Here's Harden. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Harden.
Bulls ball.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Here's Gasol. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. And that's now 11 points for Pau Gasol. Harden the pass to Capella. There's the triple. Chicago grabs the miss.
1 for 5 on offense. A slow start here in the second half.
They retain possession. Mirotic's shot is off.
Well, I think he kind of alligator armed that one. Short stroked it. After doing a nice job to get open, he didn't finish the shot.
Rose goes in. And it's sent back by Howard. Out of bounds, Bulls ball as Chicago keeps possession. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
It's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game, and that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Bulls trail by 9. It's tipped. It's stolen by Ariza. And he goes in for the dunk.
Boy, he's just dangling from the rim after sending it through there.
You can see which team now has the swagger, Clark, right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's with them.
And guys, that swagger can backfire because you don't want to get your opponent a little too riled up.
Pau Gasol's checked in for Taj Gibson. The Bulls have gone only 1 of 6 from the field in the 3rd quarter. Not how they pictured the half starting. Well, and guys, before last season, Trevor Ariza signing a 4-year, $32 million deal with the Rockets. Big free agent get for the team.
And, you know, they wanted to re-sign Chandler Parsons, Kevin, but with his departure, in comes Ariza, and Trevor is a quality replacement. I mean, a terrific wing defender, and he's a nice spot-up shooter as well.
Rockets leading by 9. And Howard with the stuff.
I tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard. The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg, I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
And he's good on the second. Derrick Rose, unbelievable spirit. We know about his toughness, has fought through injuries of all kinds that might cause a lesser competitor to hang up his sneakers.
And competitor, that's the word, Kevin. I mean, he was impossible to outcompete at the high school level, the college level, and now in the pros.
Butler with the ball, and it's Harden picking him up. Gasol dishes to Mirotic. And again, no good by Chicago.
That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boys.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
And, you know, back to D. Rose for a moment. He drives the lane now as hard as he did before the injuries. It's a level of fearlessness that only a few guys possess. And it's not teachable. You either have it or you don't.
And that is good. 14 points for Jimmy Butler.
I've really appreciated their activity in the post today. I mean, their movement down low has been great.
Oh, that's right on the money. They've generated a lot of easy opportunities on the inside.
You take a risk with those long passes. They're lucky the D couldn't collect it.
With 4 seconds on the clock. And Capella sends it back. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Rockets lead by 9. And don't go away. We'll be back momentarily. Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. Harden and Ariza filling out the perimeter. Then there's Howard. Then it's Patrick Beverley. And it's Capella in at the 4. So that's who's on the floor for the Rockets. Harden gets the bucket.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
To the inside. Here's Howard.
That was some slick passing from Harden on that one.
And it's Rose penetrating. Back to Butler. And Trevor Ariza is going to pick up a foul here. That is his first foul of the game. Now here's McDermott. Ariza covering. Here's Mirotic. The three-pointer off the mark.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
Timeout for the Bulls.
Just call him the Beard. James Harden, not just iconic, but also entering the conversation for the best player in the NBA.
Bulls trail by 16. And it's Rose penetrating.
Derrick Rose.
Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. 7 points for Rose. Harden kicks to Beverley. Back to Harden. Mirotic grabs the miss. Mirotic has got his 5th rebound in this one.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint. A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
From deep, Harden. And another 3 for Houston.
And they clearly are just destroying this group right now from the three-point line.
Yeah, and the defense knows it. I mean, they are fully stretched out trying to stop the three-point shot and still haven't been able to do it. It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's costly.
Ariza has the open look. No good on the 3.
Well, he had 1 3-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
The kick outside to Butler. This one for 3. And the Bulls, another 3.
And you know, he's enjoyed the kind of day you expect in terms of shooting the basketball. He can bring them right back into this game.
And we'll get a look at how the hustle stat game has been going for the Rockets.
And guys, something every team strives for is getting points off of turnovers, and they've done that here in both halves.
The number of second chance points they've gotten is also impressive. I mean, they've kept so many possessions alive with offensive rebounds.
Here's Mirotic. Pass to Butler. He feeds it to Rose. Back to Butler. And the rejection by Harden. Jumps up. Now that's how to finish the break. Throw down with force.
And this is what they wanted. I mean, to announce their presence in this matchup with authority. Very decisive. It can definitely be considered a statement win for Houston.
In the end, they had a better shooting percentage, and that's what made the difference. Some